6:45 new this morning. If you are expecting or you know someone who's getting ready to be a new mom, you'll want to listen very closely to this next story.
A brand new postnatal retreat is now up and running inside DC's Watergate Hotel. It's called Fourth Trimester. Get it? Because there are only 3, and this is the 4th one. And it focuses on making that transition from the hospital to home a little easier for new parents.
Yes, Marcella Robertson joining us live from the Watergate Hotel this morning. Marcella, tell us more about this, because new moms, we could always use a little extra help.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Yeah, always use that support, always use that extra help. That 4th trimester, that period when you just had a baby, you're coming home from the hospital, it's rough. You guys have both been through it. I went through it recently. Megan Francis, new mama, also went through it recently. Nurse practitioner and founder of 4th trimester. Tell us a little bit about your journey and why this is personal for you and what inspired you to come up with this.
Well, you know, this was all over TikTok. These retreats are really popular throughout the world, but in the US we are lacking in healthcare for women, particularly in this postpartum period. I had a really rough delivery. I ended up with an emergency C-section, and because of going through everything I went through, I don't want anyone to experience that, you know, feeling of, you know, lack of support or resources. So 4th trimester is that space to just support families in that really vulnerable transition period.
Yeah, and that is so important to have that support. We're here at the Watergate Hotel, I mean, iconic in DC. Walk us through exactly what people can expect with this retreat.
So with the retreat, number one thing is you get 24-hour care, not just for your baby, but for you and your partner. And we're gonna have education classes, so whether it's lactation consultant, how to feed your baby, infant CPR, as well as really nutritious meals, which you can see a little example of here. Food to help with recovery after birth, no matter what your birth looked like, as well as foods to promote breastfeeding if you choose to do that. So recovery, access to the spa to get a little relaxation. But the main goal is that you get to go home feeling comfortable. Even my friends that didn't have a traumatic delivery, you kind of go home and it's like, what do we do? What? There's no test? How we just go home? So we're there, that transition period, to make sure when you go home, you're ready, you feel comfortable, and you know what you need to do for your little one.
I mean, nutrition obviously is so important, but it is like you in that shock period where you're leaving the hospital and you're like, they're really letting us go home with this brand new baby. I also want to talk about mental health. That is a huge part of your services here. It's personal for you. I experienced it as well. Anxiety after, you know, delivery. Why was that important for you to include in all this?
Well, with a lot of time with postpartum care with mental health, they just give you a little piece of paper and ask you to circle how you're feeling. Very few people are going to be comfortable enough to be open in that way. So that's why we have a perimental therapist on staff that is going to meet with families before they come, as well as while they're here, to make sure they're okay. That postpartum period is so vulnerable. So many women, I think it's something as high as 40%, struggle with postpartum anxiety or depression. I have anxiety, and then the postpartum anxiety. I thought my daughter was going to die all the time, and it's really scary. So having support and people there with you 24/7 just alleviates that stress, and it's just a critical time. And I just want to make sure mental health is not talked about enough. I'm very open with what I've been through so that other people feel comfortable with sharing their stories as well.
And I know you mentioned really just part of being part of that community to really talk about that more. We really appreciate you being with us. Guys, so we have all the information up right now on our website, WSA9.com, full article, information, how you can book, and they are taking reservations right now for October deliveries. But, you know, just a really important you know, conversation too about the 4th trimester and about that really difficult time where you kind of feel like you're in the trenches. We were here 10 minutes ago, we were both in tears. It just shows you it's difficult even past the 12 weeks where they focus on. So yeah, all that information on our website, WSA9.com.
Marcella, add it to the list of where was this when I was having babies.
Right. It's the stuff that the books never tell you.